This is FNGR, and for no good reason, the doctor is out. Do not attempt to change the channel.
You might ask what I'm doing here today, and normally I would say, after a hard day at battle, or I'd explain some clever scheme that has allowed me to be here. But the truth is, the doctor is on vacation, and unless I'm mistaken, I got roped into protecting this place from people like me. Truly not one of my prouder moments. So, to pass the time...
Today, on the doctor's behest, I will be discussing a topic near and dear to my heart, antagonism in MLP. I thought about covering villainy, or even evil, but it's a really short and confining term. Antagonism is essentially the supply side of conflict between two forces. Without a tyrant like Discord, Chrysilius, or Sombri, a lesser challenger arises, be it Flim or Flam, Diamond Tiara, Silver Spoons, or even Trixie. Much like in the real world, if we managed to remove major and minor threats, friends and family would turn upon one another. Pinky and Philly Fanilli, for example, the main six in Bridal Gossip. Especially that episode because we see the damage of an overly watchful eye seeking to preemptively strike down evil. The last and one of the most identifiable of these sources is the damage we unwittingly do to ourselves. Lesson 0, Party of 1, Apple Buck Season, and so on. The point is, without conflict, there is no show, just how there would be no life without conflict. Our enemies, our peers, and ourselves all challenge us to grow and learn. When we don't learn, we're forced to repeat our lessons. Take Applejack and Super Squeezy.
Dear Princess Celestia, I wanted to share my thoughts with you. I didn't learn anything. I was right all along.
It's a wonder Applejack was so upset to see Flim and Flam a second time. Seeing as how she didn't learn anything before, she had nothing to face Flim and Flam with the second time. Her enemies, in turn, seemed to learn a great deal about her. That first and foremost, she valued family. Our principles guard and guide us. Those of us who use wicked works take advantage of our principles and strengths to twist and conform to their wants and gains. Flim and Flam challenged Applejack, and in the end of their second meeting, Applejack is better off for it. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoons have made Apple Bloom, Sweetie Belle, and Scootaloo stronger characters for their interaction. By the time we get to the fourth season and Flight to the Finish, the three of them are shrugging off Blank Flank like the dribble it is. Diamond Tiara, in her role of antagonist, is forced to dig deeper and attack Scoots on a possible personal limitation. Scoots, by the end of the episode, is reminded of her friends and who she is. She's become stronger and possibly even slightly wiser for the interaction. Now, if I had to lump a critique onto Pinkie Pie for Philly Vanilli, Fluttershy isn't made to have a stronger shell for Pinkie's pokes. It feels disruptive, and it's uncertain if Pinkie even enjoyed doing it. I'm a big fan of For No Good Reason as the next guy, but there's literally no motive, rhyme, or reason behind Pinkie bullying Fluttershy. I wouldn't say it's out of character, as you could defend Pinkie being random is par for the course, but even as a fan of the disruptive arts, it left me scratching my head, asking what was the point. The final lesson of today is the one we teach ourselves. In Pinkie Pride, Pinkie gets it in her head that her friends aren't her friends anymore because Rainbow Dash has disregarded what may well be her defining characteristic. Pinkie is actually the antagonist in this episode and realizes that the party is for her friend and the event is not about her. Pinkie, for at least the second time in the show, ends up being her own worst enemy. I say at least because it's somewhat common. In Party of 1, she mistakes her friends avoiding her for not wanting to be her friends anymore. There's no one other than Pinkie Pie in Party of 1 giving Pinkie Pie grief, other than herself. It's kind of puzzling to see if Pinkie really learned that lesson, or the fact that she just might have been happy to see the misunderstanding go away. But clearly the best and most popular example of being your own worst enemy is hands down Lesson 0, where Twilight literally comes undone, trying to find a problem, and becomes happier for having found one when she meets Rarity, and assumes all is well. But unfortunately the matter is resolved, and she becomes crestfallen. In fact, that lesson is my thesis statement, that we often tear ourselves apart when we are faced without adversity or opposition. It's the necessity of an antagonist. Some lessons can only be taught by the willing hand of an enemy, even if that enemy is ourselves.